What's good, Vikings Nation? Skull, it's your boy, Jake, here, fired up to talk about the Minnesota Vikings strategy for the 2025 NFL Draft. With the draft just days away, the buzz around our squad is electric. Are we trading up, trading down, or standing pat to snag a game-changer? The Vikings are coming off a 14-win season, and with J.J. McCarthy leading the charge, the pressure's on to build a roster that can take us to the Super Bowl. But here's the kicker. We've only got 4 picks in this draft. How do we maximize that? Let's dive into the best-case scenario for our Vikings in round 1 and beyond. Picture this. It's draft night, April 24th, 2025, in Green Bay. The Vikings are on the clock at pick 24, and the phones are buzzing. Teams like the Giants or Browns are desperate to jump up for a quarterback. Maybe a falling star like Shedeur Sanders or Jackson Dart. The Vikings GM, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, is grinning because he knows he's got leverage. Trading down could land us a haul of picks, especially on day 2, where this draft is stacked with talent. That's the dream scenario, folks, and it's got me hyped. But why is trading down such a big deal for us? Stick with me as we break this down into 10 scenes, each one peeling back the layers of the Vikings draft plan. From the trade rumors to the positions we need to target, I'm laying it all out with stats, storytelling, and that purple and gold passion. What do you think we should do with pick 24? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get this skull party started. The Vikings draft situation is tight, and that's putting it mildly. After trading up twice in 2024 to secure J.J. McCarthy and other pieces, we're left with just 4 picks in 2025. A first-rounder at 24, a third at 97, and 2 fifths at 139 and 160. That's not a lot of ammo for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. Last year's aggressive moves paid off with a 14-win season, but they've left us strapped for draft capital. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah has to play this like a chess master, and trading down could be his knight's gambit. Why trade down? Day 2 of the draft, rounds 2 and 3, is where the real value lies this year. Analysts are raving about the depth at positions like offensive line, defensive line, and secondary, all areas where the Vikings need help. Imagine turning pick 24 into a second-rounder, a third, and maybe a fourth. That's 3 or 4 shots at top 100 talent instead of betting it all on one guy. Look at our 2024 success. We added depth with guys like Jordan Addison and Brian Asamoah, and more picks could do the same. So what's the vibe in Egan? Insiders say the Vikings are open to moving back if the right offer comes. Teams like the Giants, who need a QB to replace Daniel Jones, or the Browns, who might want to pair a new signal caller with Deshaun Watson's contract, are circling. If a team jumps for a guy like Sanders, we could be looking at a draft haul that sets us up for years. What's your take, Vikings fans? Trade down or stay put? Hit the comments. Let's talk about what the Vikings need in this draft. Our offensive line, while solid, could use another stud to protect J.J. McCarthy. Christian Darrisaw is a beast, but the interior needs depth. Guys like Garrett Bradbury aren't getting younger. Then there's the defensive line. Brian Flores' scheme thrives on versatile pass rushers, but we're thin behind Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen. And don't get me started on the secondary. Our safeties need a playmaker to pair with Harrison Smith, who's not eternal. Trading down could let us address these holes with high-upside players. Take the offensive line. Day 2 is loaded with prospects like Arizona's Jonas Savainia or UConn's Chase Lunt, both projected as second-round steals. For the defensive line, someone like Texas A&M's Nick Scourton could be a Flores favorite, 6 feet 4 inches, 280 pounds, and a knack for wrecking QBs. The secondary? Keep an eye on Georgia's Malachi Starks, a safety with all-pro potential. These are the kind of names we could target with extra picks. The beauty of this strategy is flexibility. With only 4 picks, we're forced to nail every selection, but more picks mean more chances to hit. Look at the Eagles in 2023. They traded down, stockpiled picks, and built a juggernaut. That's the blueprint. Vikings Nation, which position should we prioritize? O-line, D-line, or secondary? Let me know below, and let's keep the skull vibes rolling. Now, let's zoom in on that trade-down scenario. Imagine the Giants call up, sweating bullets because Shedeur Sanders is still on the board at 24. They offer their second-round pick, let's say 40, a third, 72, and a 2026 fourth. Kwesi takes the deal, and suddenly we've got 4 picks in the top 100. That's a game changer, folks. Instead of one lottery ticket, we're buying a whole roll, and the odds of landing impact players skyrocket. What could we do with those picks? In a mock draft from ESPN, the Vikings grabbed Savainia at 40 to bolster the O-line, Scourton at 72 to juice up the pass rush, and a corner like Notre Dame's Benjamin Morrison at 97 to shore up the secondary. That's 3 starters, all with Pro Bowl upside, from one trade. Compare that to taking, say, a single tackle at 24 and praying he pans out. The math checks out, more picks, more wins. But there's a catch. Trading down means passing on elite talent. If a stud like Ohio State's Denzel Burke or LSU's Harold Perkins falls to 24, do we pull the trigger? It's a gut check moment for Kwesi. Vikings fans, would you trade down for a haul or grab a superstar if one slips? Drop your hot takes in the comments, and let's see what the Skol crew thinks. Let's rewind to the Vikings 2025 draft reality check. According to posts on X, the Vikings already made waves by selecting Ohio State guard Donovan Jackson at pick 24 in a mock draft scenario. Jackson, a 6 feet 4 inches, 320-pound mauler, was an instant starter at left guard, locking down the O-line's weak spot. But here's the twist. Some fans and analysts, like those at the Times of India, roasted the Vikings for skipping defense, especially with safety depth issues and a crowded receiver room after drafting Ty Felton in round 3. Why does this matter? It shows the tightrope Kwesi's walking. The fan base is split. Some love the O-line focus, others are screaming for defensive help. Trading down could be the middle ground, letting us grab a lineman like Jackson and a defensive playmaker like Starks or Scourton. It's about balance, and with only 4 picks, every move has to be surgical. The 2024 draft showed Kwesi's willingness to deal. Remember the McCarthy trade-up. So a trade down feels plausible. What's the pulse of Vikings Nation? Are you team O-line, team defense, or team trade down? The draft is a week away, and the tension's building. Hit the comments with your dream pick or trade scenario, and let's get this Skol hype train moving. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of Day 2's value. NFL Network's Daniel Jeremiah says the 2025 draft is insanely deep in rounds 2 and 3, especially for trenches and defensive backs. That's music to Vikings fans' ears. Our defense, while nasty under Flores, needs more depth to keep up with high-powered offenses like the Lions, who we face on Christmas Day 2025. Extra picks could let us double-dip, maybe grabbing a D-lineman and a safety to keep our scheme unpredictable. Look at our 2024 season. 14 wins, but we leaned hard on veterans like Harrison Phillips and Cam Bynum. Those guys are studs, but we need young blood to sustain this run. A player like Scourton, with his 7.5 sacks last year at Texas A&M, could rotate in as a rookie and develop into a star. Or take Starks, who had 65 tackles and 3 picks at Georgia, perfect for Flores aggressive coverages. These are Day 2 gems we could snag with a trade-down haul. Here's where you come in, Vikings Nation. If we trade down and land 3 top 100 picks, who's your dream target? A trench warrior, a ball-hawking safety, or someone else? Drop your picks in the comments, and let's build this roster together. Skol. Okay, let's talk risks. Trading down sounds sexy, but it's not a slam dunk. If we pass on a blue-chip prospect at 24, say a corner like Burke or a pass rusher like Perkins, we might regret it. The Vikings secondary got torched by Lamar Jackson in 2021, 266 passing yards, 120 rushing, and we face him again in 2025. A stud corner or safety could be the difference between a win and a repeat of that 34-31 overtime loss. Do we risk missing that guy for more picks? On the flip side, our depth is thin. Injuries to guys like Jordan Addison or Harrison Phillips could derail us, and 4 picks won't cut it to plug every hole. The 2023 Chiefs traded down, loaded up on Day 2 talent, and won a ring. That's the model. Kwesi's got to weigh the allure of a superstar against the safety of depth. This high-stakes poker, and he's all in. What's your gut telling you, Vikings fans? Roll the dice on a trade down or lock in a day one starter at 24. The draft's coming fast, and I want to hear your predictions. Smash that comment section, and let's keep the Skol fire burning. Let's pivot to the Vikings draft history for some context. In 2024, we traded up for McCarthy at pick 10, giving up a haul but landing our franchise QB. It was a bold move that paid off. JJ threw for 3,800 yards and 28 TDs as a rookie, but it cost us picks in 2025, leaving us with this lean draft slate. Kwesi's shown he's not afraid to wheel and deal, so a trade down fits his MO. He's like a Viking warlord always plotting the next raid. Contrast that with 2023, when we stood pat and drafted Addison at 23. He's now a 1,000-yard receiver, but our lack of depth hurt in the playoffs. Trading down this year could give us an Addison-level talent plus a couple of role players. Think of it like drafting Felton and Ingram Dawkins in 2025. Both project as starters, but we need more. History says Kwesi's got the guts to make a big move, but will he? Vikings Nation, what's the vibe? Are you trusting Kwesi to cook? Or do you want a safer pick? Share your draft day memories or hopes in the comments, and let's get ready for April 24th. Skol. Let's zoom out to the NFL landscape. The 2025 draft is shaping up as a QB-driven frenzy, with guys like Cam Ward, taken first overall by the Titans, and Sanders generating buzz. That's good news for the Vikings. QB-hungry teams are more likely to trade up, and pick 24 is in the sweet spot, late enough to tempt a jump, early enough to demand a premium. The Browns, with their cap mess, or the Giants, with a shaky QB room, could be our trade partners. This plays into our international slate, too. We're playing in Dublin and London in weeks 4 and 5, facing the Steelers and Browns. A trade with Cleveland could give us picks and a psychological edge overseas. Imagine Kwesi fleecing them for a second-rounder, then using it to draft a guy who sacks their QB in London. That's Viking-level savagery. Plus, our 7 national TV games mean every rookie we draft will be under a microscope. What's the move, Vikings fans? Trade with a rival like the Browns for maximum chaos? Or play it safe? Drop your draft day strategies in the comments, and let's get hyped for this global Skol takeover. We're nearing the end, but the suspense is peaking. Let's game out draft night. The Vikings are at 24, and Sanders is sliding. The Giants call, offering picks 40, 72, and a 2026 third. Kwesi's got 10 minutes to decide. If he takes the deal, we're loaded for day 2. But we miss a shot at a guy like Burke or Perkins. If he stays, we get a cornerstone but stay pick poor. It's a classic Vikings heart attack moment, and I'm living for it. The fanbase is buzzing on X, with some screaming for a trade down and others begging for a defensive star. Posts from @VikingsFanpage show fans hyped for Jackson but worried about safety depth. That's the pulse. We want it all, but we can't have it. Kwesi's got to channel his inner Ragnar and make a call that shapes our season. Will it be a depth-building masterstroke or a swing for the fences? Vikings Nation, put yourself in Kwesi's shoes. What's your call at pick 24? Trade down for picks or grab a stud? Hit the comments with your draft night predictions, and let's ride the Skol wave to April 24th. Here's the final scene, and it's all about the aftermath. Let's say we trade down, land picks 40, 72, and a future third, and draft Savainia, Scourton, and Morrison. Training camp rolls around, and these rookies are turning heads. Savainia's stonewalling Aaron Jones in drills, Scourton's chasing down Jared Goff, and Morrison's picking off Kirk Cousins. The Vikings are deeper, tougher, and ready for that Christmas clash with the Lions. That's the vision, folks. But the draft is just the start. Our 2025 schedule, 7 national TV games, back-to-back international trips, means every pick has to hit. A trade down gives us more darts to throw, but we need Kwesi to aim true. Vikings.com reports that rookie minicamp is already buzzing with talk of day 2 steals. So the hype is real. This could be the draft that pushes us from contenders to champions. Vikings Nation, I'm fired up. What's your bold prediction for our 2025 draft class? Drop it in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe for more Vikings news. Share this with your Skol crew, and let's get ready for draft day. Until next time, Skol Vikings.